Hello, hello. Good morning. So, the thought for today, what are we hiding from? Why are we hiding? Are you hiding? Do you know what I mean when I say hiding? um, so, here we are. And, let's imagine just for a minute that many of us have said we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And everybody goes, yeah, that's true. But that we spend most of our life running from that, running from that reality. What if we are? What if truly we are? In the big book of AA, when you think of the text that we use in the 12-step world, which is NA, CA, and Emotions Anonymous, and SA, and Gamblers Anonymous. I mean, we use this text, and the text was written mostly by Bill Wilson in the 30s, and and in the chapter We Agnostics, he said something that was absolutely key. It's a key piece, and this is what we're hiding from. It's what we're running from. It says God either is or he isn't. Either he's everything or he's nothing. What is your choice to be? And if God is everything, then the statement that we're spiritual beings having a human experience is absolutely true. We are that. And somehow there's a separation that's happened, and the ego says, no, I'm afraid. The ego has been running the show. And for many of us, not very well. Not very well. We're living in fear. We're living in a state of dissatisfaction, right? We're living in wanting. We're living in anger, right? We're living in shame. Not everybody all the time. I'm not talking about everybody all the time. I'm talking about, when it's there, and what I'm saying, it's there, and we're living there. And then, but we are so afraid to connect with this oneness within us. And, we're like, oh, no, I can't, what if I do? And the question is, or the fear often is, um, what will become of me? Who's the me you're talking about? What will become of me if I come to know God's will in my life and I live this, this fear that, wow, if I let God be the boss, what will become of me? Well, how's it been going so far? How how you doing? Right? Not worth a shit for most of us. Lots of us. It doesn't matter what kind of facade you have up, what kind of, you know, bullshit story that we've created about our lives. If we don't have this connection, and this isn't for everybody, but if you're listening here, it's likely it's you. It likely is. It's you didn't come here by accident, and but we have this facade that, oh, everything's fine, I'm good, but we know that this thing is missing. We know that it's not missing, it's there, it's always there, but we know that we've avoided it. And we do all kinds of things to not, we have diversions or distractions, right? We have distractions, whatever it is. It could be just that project in the garage. That there's nothing wrong with the project in the garage that you're working on. It's just that if you go there to avoid, right? And you're in the garage and you get the music playing really loud, but you're not there in that oneness. Then you're there, possibly avoiding. You're there in the garage drinking beer and hiding out, just hiding out. So just sharing with you that we know, we see. There's many of us that have crossed over the bridge to this place that's peace, and trust that there is answers. It's available to everyone because it is you. It isn't something you have to do to get it. It is you. Bill said, and many, 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 many sages from since the dawn of time have said that deep down inside of you is that essence, that oneness. It's there. We are that. So what do we have to do? Well, recognize, first of all, for me, what I had to do is recognize that my ego couldn't be trusted, just couldn't be trusted. It came out of fear. Somehow this thing had been created that was fear based. I can look back and point to trauma. I can point to, being brought up in an alcoholic home. I can do all that stuff and say, oh, there's where it started. I can go to therapy and figure it out. And I mean, looking at it doesn't hurt. We can't fix it. It's unfixable. It's unfixable because it's always going to be, we're trying to fix it out of fear, right? We're trying to fix it out of dissatisfaction, trying to fix it out of hoping to get to a place where we can manage. But we don't manage. We always fall short. So that's the deal. Oneness with this power within us, this thing, and I mean, hell, if you don't, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think I go too far, when I talk like this. Mm. But what's happening, we see it and we're like, oh my God, he killed himself. Oh my God, why can't so and so get it? Why are they, going back to jail again for the third time? Or why are they out using and drinking again, when they had it? Well, they didn't have it. They were still in fear. And they were still trying to manipulate, trying to manage the show, and yeah, and those of us who've done that and kind of moved past that, we see it. It's like, oh look, manipulating, you know, trying to run the show. It's just like it. It's so immature, and I believe that my experience is if we call anything maturity, it's this relationship with the moment, with now, with God as we understand Him, with universal intelligence, whatever you want to call it. Deep down inside every man, woman, and child is this fundamental idea of God. And in the end, that's where it's found. So we have to sit quiet a bit and look and walk in and trust and pray and help others to find it and to sit in it. And I don't know what your motivation is, but if you recognize, like I did, that I could not trust my own thinking, if you recognize it, that we can't trust our own thinking, then you'll know the crazy mind is always going to bring you up short. You'll get it. It's like, oh my God, that's step one, right? That's just step one, but that's what it is. My life was unmanageable with my crazy mind. That's step one in the program of recovery, in the 12 steps. The step one is like Russell Brand said, step one, I'm fucked. He's what he said. That's his rendition of the steps. Step one is, I'm fucked. Step two is I'm not going to be able to unfuck myself. I cannot unfuck myself, right? Step two. Step three is there's a power greater than me that can, you know, unfuck me, restore me to sanity. Okay, so we turn our will and our lives over to that power, right? So that's it. I mean, that's the simplicity of the whole deal. And I wish that there was some way of just, throwing it up and showing you, that wow, how easy it is. But, you know, it's funny, we can't get it with the mind. We can't get it with the intellect. Intellect says yes, 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 but I want to understand. I want to make sure it's safe. Well, we need to step in without knowing. We get close too, eh? We get really close and then we turn back. That's right. We play along. Okay, that's my thing today. I don't know. I feel blessed to be able to share with you, and you know, if you want this thing, nobody can give it to you, but we can talk about it. You know, um, we can talk about it. So call me. Let's connect. Good morning, Kayla. Talking about oneness with God. You know, and not from some religious place, you know. And I only call it that because we don't know what else to call it. But it is you already. You have it. It isn't separate. Sit in it. You know, we're going to meditate in a couple of minutes and we'll drop into it. Okay? As best we can, we'll drop into it and you'll see it. It's there. That's right. Okay. So I've been reading from this little book for a while, and I believe it is, I never know what day it is. Look, the 4th of February. The 4th of February. Here we go. Let's find that date. January 31st. The 4th of February. Okay, this little book was written, and it's kind of a spiritual guidebook. It refers a lot to the symptoms of the problem of trying to live separately from the universal intelligence. It really does, from God. And the symptoms for many of us is the pain, and the pain drives us to drink and use. And something physical comes up for us, many of us who drink and use, you know, that separates the alcoholic from the non-alcoholic. And that's that when I'm not drinking and using, I'm thinking about drinking and using. Not anymore, that's been taken away, thank God, a long time ago. But I'm thinking about drinking and using if I'm in active addiction, right? If I don't have if I'm not spiritually fit, you know, I'm thinking about it. And so that separates me from the normal average drinker. And then what happens when I drink is I can't stop, you know, and that's not all the time, but it's not a cut and dried rule. But for the most part, when I drank, you know, we're going to burn the house down. You know, it just, we threw I never saved a cap for a bottle. I was on the move, and, you know, but literally, let's get at it. And that's what separated me from the average drinker. So in this man's book, he talks about that some, you know, because the symptoms of the problem, the reason I can't trust my ego mind, you know, for the alcoholic and the addict, is it's trying to kill me. And for lots of you who maybe come to watch me, you know, do this, or on a spiritual path or search or whatever, seeking, or, you know, there's nothing to look for, by the way. It's there. We're already in it. You know, aren't driven by the threat of killing ourselves with the disease of alcoholism. You know, the alcoholic thinks, you know, gets to a place sometimes where he says it'll be better off for everybody if I wasn't here. So self-centered. Okay, February 4th, thought for the day. Treating others to drinks gives us kind of satisfaction, really. We like to say, have a drink on me. But we were not really doing the other fellow a favor. We were only helping him to get drunk, especially if he happened to be an alcoholic. In AA, we really try to help other alcoholics. We build them up instead of tearing them down. Drinking created a sort of fellowship. Drinking created sort of a fellowship. Yes, it did, yeah. But it really was a false fellowship because it was based on selfishness. We used our drinking companions for our own pleasure. In AA, we have real fellowship based on unselfishness and desire to help each other. And we make real friends, not fair weather friends. With sobriety, have I got anything that, in sobriety, have I got anything that drinking's got without the headaches? With sobriety, he says, have I got everything that drinking's got without headaches? Yeah, well, sure. Yeah. Meditation for the day. I know that God cannot teach a man who is trusting in a crutch. I know that God cannot teach a man who is trusting in a crutch. So that's the deal. We're still self-reliant. You know, we're unreachable. I will throw away the crutch of alcohol and walk in God's power and spirit. God's power will so invigorate me that I shall indeed walk on to victory. There is never any limit to God's power. I will go step by step, one day at a time. God will show me, God's will be revealed to me as I go forward. Yes, yes, yes. And that's so the case, you know. We have, you know, each moment, you know, once we've kind of located the source of our power, you know, we can trust moment to moment. We really can. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may have more and more dependence on God. I pray that I may throw away my alcoholic crutch and let God's power take its place. I'm going to try that again. Kind of got lost in a thought myself. I pray that I may have more and more dependence on God. Yes, yes, yeah. I pray that I may throw away my alcoholic crutch and let God's power take its place. So with alcoholic crutch, we can replace it with lots of things, whatever it is that keeps you from living in this oneness, in this connection. Okay? So, uh, let's meditate for a little bit. We're going to sit and we do this little meditation every day because it's we do this meditation to just learn to sit quietly. That's all we're doing is sitting. We're just sitting. Okay, we're just sitting. That's all. We're just going to sit for a few minutes and drop in. I mean, the whole idea is to be here now, have this connection, this oneness, right? And so when we meditate, that's what we're doing. So let's not call it meditation, though. Let's just call it sitting. So we're going to drop in. So close your eyes. Make sure you're in kind of a comfortable spot, secure. You don't have to work to keep yourself upright. Just in a really comfortable spot. We're going to close our eyes for a few minutes. Just going to sit for a few minutes. Drop into that space, okay? That space that's deep down inside every man, woman, and child. It is this fundamental idea. And it's only there, in essence, it's only there it can be found. So we're going to drop inside. Let's drop inside. Recognize that we use the breath. We use the breath to drop in with. Now when we're here, we just use the breath to become in the moment. And then as we watch our thoughts, we recognize that we're not our thoughts, that it's almost like a separate being that's there. And just watch as thoughts come up. And the realization that you are not your thoughts is a really, really great place to be. It's great to know that, hey, I'm not my thoughts. I can see them. And they just kind of come and go. Almost like clouds. Sometimes they're like storm clouds. I get afraid. Just remember that the I am, is that oneness, is that wholeness, is that isness. And beyond that is stillness. So just go into the stillness, into the emptiness, beyond thought. You can do it. That's not true. You are it. It's not you can do it, you are it. Just be that. Be that oneness. Be that stillness. You are that already. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. No future, no past. Only this moment. thoughts come up, just come back to your breath. Okay, just come back gently. Beautiful. Hmm. Thank you so much. Oh, I'd just like to remind you that, we've been interviewing people the last few days, just doing these live interviews. They've been great. They're all on YouTube. Have a look at them. Some beautiful folks in talking about their life experience, what's happening now, and um, yeah, some great shares about love and fear, about real life. Amy Thiessen, Alan Steinfeld, and Daniel Aaron, some really beautiful, Cody Ellis, some beautiful beings that um, you know, we've done interviews with Mira Black. Today, a friend of mine, Sarah Bella. I'm going to interview Sarah later today. And tomorrow, I think we have um, Russell. What's Russell's last name? Russell lives in Bali. I've known Russell for a lot of years. We're gonna talk to Russell, and so yeah, we've done some fun. Ashley yesterday, who wrote a book, a children's book. We interviewed Ashley. So drop into YouTube and have a look at some of those. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for sharing with us today and being here. And I hope I wasn't too much.